That's much quicker than a normal thing.
It's that update. It's a 20-minute update.
Because you on another show, it's much longer, and this one's just like, and it's like, and then like, oh,
Here we are.
So hello, welcome back to Perception Theory.
Welcome.
With your host, Cuz and Evil Ed. Let me make sure we're rocking and rolling, which I think we are. It's not like we got tons of people busting down the door to watch this damn show.
All three people.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, there we go. Hey, Rodri.
Hope you had a good vacation. Yeah.
Yes, we did.
Yes, we did.
Thank you for asking, Rodri. Appreciate that.
He's probably asking with a little bit of tude. He's like, oh, screw y'all. What y'all did.
What?
But y'all's damn vacation. Are we? Well, I guess we're on because Rodri's there. So
yeah.
All right. Well, there we go.
All right.
So welcome back. Rodri, I don't know if you're going to appreciate this topic we have this week, but before we start that, I just want to give a kind of a shout out. Whether you hate them, like them, despise them, love them, the fact that former President Trump is okay. So he did have an assassination attempt on his life, which was really crazy. So just real quick. So the crazy thing is, so they identified the guy, right? He's like 20, whatever. So the funny thing is, he's a registered Republican, but all his like Facebook, everything else, he's actually donated to all these left-wing things. And so this profiler came out and said, well, what happens in some of these states where the primary is locked down, they'll actually register as Republicans so they can vote in the primary to like vote against who they don't want, which I guess is Trump, and then they'll change their affiliation later when it comes to the actual national, the national election.
Wow.
So anyway, it's weird. So anyway, so he's okay. Unfortunately, the one guy that was killed, he was like a fire chief of that community, and apparently, once the first couple shots went off, he put his family down, dove over top his family, and it was one of the later shots that actually got him.
Oh man.
So anyway, reaching out to their family and stuff, and cool thing about that is they did Trump started a GoFundMe. He donated a bunch of money and stuff, and they got over like $1 million. Oh wow! And like, wow, over for the families to because I mean, the father. So the father's gone, and they still need to be able to function and survive and live. So Jesus, but yeah, I don't know if you got anything comments or anything.
No, I don't know. I just hope this is a loner. You know what I mean? Just like some Lone Ranger out there that wants to make a name for himself or something, because I don't know. This can go many different ways depending on how the media wants to spin it, which I'm sure there's going to be multiple ways.
There is.
CNN's
already spinning it.
I'm sure. I'm sure. And you got to pick and choose what you want to hear, what side you want to be on, I guess.
See, my thing is this, and then we'll get on with it. My thing is this. I hate Biden. People know I don't like him, right? But whether you like somebody or hate him, I still respect him in the sense of the president, and you don't go against that, But when you take that to a level where you're like doing whatever, but then take it to that extreme level where you're bringing violence into the picture.
Yeah, it's not right.
It's not worth all that shit. And I don't, and like I said, I don't say hate Biden. That's probably a strong word. I dislike him as a president and dislike his policies and what happened to the country. But at the end of the day, it's what you deal with for that 4 years,
Right.
And you do, and you kind of buckle in. You do the best you can. You may not like it, but you do what you do. And you're like, well, then, 4 years. In 4 years, I get the opportunity to hopefully change that or whatever.
Right.
If it's something I don't like. But taking that to violence and shit, I'm
unacceptable.
It's completely unacceptable. And I don't know what you think you're going to, well, I guess you accomplish where you remove him from the picture, I guess, if that's really what you're looking to do. But what you're doing is if you make a martyr out of him, you're going to have somebody else that comes in, let's say whoever it is, because at this point, I think the Democrats are done.
Right.
So whoever, let's just say, God forbid, if that actually did work and he was eliminated from the picture, whatever Republican or something's going to come in, he's going to rally some of his policies. So, okay, you might get rid of the man, but everything else about him, as far as policy wise or which side of the aisle you're on, they're going to implement a bunch of his stuff.
Absolutely.
So you're not really accomplished anything in that aspect, but hey.
Yeah, I would say definitely from this, the voting for Trump is definitely going to go up. It's going to get stronger,
It is. And I just don't understand why if you want to defeat him, you defeat him with, you defeat him with the truth. Defeat him with policies. Defeat him with, how well you're doing and this and the other. But if you want to just screw off, or your policies are horrible for the country, and then you want to just say like it never happened or whatever,
right?
It's not the way to do it. So you know what? I'm going to let you, since you actually kind of picked the topic, I'm going to let you kind of bust up what you got, and I'll comment and then if there's anything that wasn't covered here, I will.
All right.
Throw up in there. Throw.
No, don't throw up.
I'll roll up in.
There you go.
Apparently you've seen that Tex is not here, and Tex didn't want to comment on. He didn't want to participate in this topic. Free country, whatever. So there you go.
Okay. So. A couple of things that I had found. Biden's legacy, I think, is one of the first things that I wanted to look up. His biggest thing, and this was something that he was talking with someone, and this was down in, I believe it was in Mexico, Puerto Rico, that area. And what he said his legacy is, he wanted it to be that I kept my word and I did what I said I would do. Which is chirp, chirp, chirp. One of the other things, his historic expansion of benefits and services for toxic exposed veterans, the first meaningful gun violence reduction legislation in 30 years, protected marriage for the LGBTQI+ and interracial groups, historic confirmation of Supreme Court Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson. Ketanji, right?
Ketanji Brown.
Ketanji, sorry about that. And then the federal judges with diverse backgrounds. So this is the first part is what Biden stated. The second portion of that is actually something that I found on the interwebs. And then another interesting thing I saw. This was on CNN. That you have Reagan, Lincoln, John F. Kennedy, George Washington, and you have FDR. They all had one thing in common, and that was they commanded during wars or recessions, and they always put the people first. Now, the crazy thing is that in this little thing with CNN, they were trying to state that there's one historian that Biden is like close to, and they're trying to compare him to some of these presidents, which I don't understand. But again, this is on the interwebs. But this is also something going back to what Biden stated is I kept my word and I did what I said I would do. When he was VP, he removed classified documents and stacked them in his garage so historians could see that he was against Obama's storm of Afghanistan.
Also, not of Afghanistan, but there was also some classified documents that he pulled out when he was a senator.
Nice.
Which even if only the president has the authority to declassify. Vice president doesn't. But even you could maybe say, well, I'm almost president, so therefore I might have a little bit. People might even give you that.
Right.
Senator?
No. 36 years, actually, he was a senator. I thought that was pretty interesting. I thought it was more, but again.
Well, by the time you get it all done, you're looking at what, 40 couple years.
Yeah, 42 years,
politics.
I think. Yeah, that's crazy. So I guess, that's one of the things I question. I'm a Generation X, where we didn't really care about anything as it happened. Now that we're older, it's kind of like, whoa, this is something kind of big at this point. I happened to be seeing something the other day. It was on TV about Kamala Harris. She was bragging about during her term with Biden is that they added over $3 trillion to the economy for fixing roads and adding jobs. I haven't seen any of that yet. I haven't received any money, nothing like that. One of the other things that I found was pretty interesting is, so since the four years that Biden's been in, this is his economy. Gas is up by 47%. Groceries are up by 21%. Dining out is up by 21%. Baby food is up 30%. Rent is up 20%. Electricity is up 28%. Used cars are now up 20%. And airfare is 32%. Public transportation is 22%. So if they're dumping $3 trillion or have dumped $3 trillion into the economy, don't we think that some of these would have kind of, that whole trickle-down effect thing would have happened?
Well, you just print more money.
That is true.
That's what we do.
That is true. When in doubt, print it out.
That's it.
So, and then the other big thing is the illegals that have been allowed to come into the country. Listen, I'm all about, building yourself up, being successful, but this is just insane. And I wonder exactly what would happen or what will happen if Trump is actually reelected as president.
Trickle down is a fallacy.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's always going to be somebody in the middle. I'm doing something in this case. Don't freak out. There's always going to be something that people are doing, or that the money's going to come down to a certain point. And this is my thing here. Let me get on my soapbox for a second. This is my big thing with, like, when you talk about education money, right? So if you see we are spending more money on students than we ever have in the history of this country, and we're spending a crap load of money. Now, we're spending money and it's going down, right? It goes down through the states, and it goes down through the counties or whatever into the cities. Then all of a sudden it stops going down, and then it starts going out, right? So when they talk about trickle down, it's like, yeah, okay, that would work if everybody allowed the money to go down as it's supposed to, and then have it be applied the way that it's meant to at this level. But it doesn't happen.
Right.
And when it gets to a certain point, so they've done a huge study about inner city schools, and they find out that the cities spend, especially the inner city, more money, like twice to 3 times as much in the cities as rural communities do. However, the money gets down to a certain point, then it goes this way. So what I'm saying is the students and the schools never get that money. So I agree with Rodri where they're talking about, this, that, and the other. No, it has to come from bottom up. It has to be generated by small businesses, and then the people
right
that are, because the people have to be the ones that are taking the most risk to implement new technologies and whatnot.
Absolutely. Now, I know that you really dove deep into the failures, and you've got a lot of history on these. So I'm just going to step aside with my little soapbox there.
Okay, so I had this thing. I had this and I'll bring it up here in a little bit. I actually had this already, and I didn't print it out, or I forgot to print it out. Sorry, but let me just do this. Yeah, images save there, because this is something I did before. Trickle down is a fallacy. So first of all, let me talk about real quick what you talked about, or about. Let me get this picture back in here real quick. Look, we have our pictures from.
Hey, I remember that one
from our so let me find this, guys. I'm sorry, I meant to have this ready, and then I got to run in my mouth, and
here it is.
Didn't do it. Okay. All right. So let me bring this one up. So this is by a government agency called I forgot what it's called. It's like the study of immigrants. It's like the Office of Immigrant Studies and effects or impacts, or whatever you want to call it. So here is, I don't know if this is going to be for people. People ain't going to be able to see that. All right. Yeah, it's bad. So unfortunately, let me just tell you, you can see it here. So anyway, you can't really see it. So here's where it talks about federal funding, state funding, and what the total contributions are. There are approximately 180 billion, with a B, billion. This is slated for social services and everything else for illegal immigrants. So then you take the federal taxes that illegal immigrants generate. It's very small because, obviously if they're not registered, they're not going to. And then you have the state, which they do on the state level, and it comes out to approximately 30 billion. You say, well, that's a nice contribution.
Right.
Well, when you take the 180 billion that's pushed out, and then you subtract the 30 billion that they actually put in, you're left with $150.7 billion. And
wow.
This is all on illegal immigrants. This is not on the whole welfare system. This is on illegal immigrants. And I had another one which I forgot to bring. This is 38% higher for illegal immigrants than it is for U.S. citizens.
That's a shame.
So they're spending more on illegal immigrants than they are on U.S. citizens.
That is sad.
So now that is part of the Biden administration. And I'll tell you how we got to that point real quick. Let me get to my one. And again, I understand there's people out there that love Biden and this, that, and the other, but we got to look at facts. Now, I know everybody's going to say, well, what did Trump do and stuff like that? Well, Trump's done. He's been gone. And everybody's just like Trump couldn't say anything about Obama's because Obama's presidency was done.
Right.
But everybody blamed Trump for everything else. So we're gonna just apply the same measures to Biden. Now this is his legacy, part of his legacy. So he's allowed the border crisis to worsen. It's the worst it's ever been in U.S. history. All right. So during the Trump administration, they had a agreement with Mexico that was called "Stay in Mexico," which meant people who came through Mexico illegally had to stay in Mexico until their applied asylum status was, they had the trial and it was assessed and was granted. Then at that point, you could come in to the U.S.
Okay.
So when that happened, we fell to a 45-year low. People's like, well, if I can't walk right in the door, I'm not staying in Mexico, this and the other.
Sure.
Right? So soon as Biden got in, one of his executive orders, he whacked that. All right? So so then just before Christmas, they were encountering 12,600 migrants a day, right? So the remain in Mexico, when we got a 4-year low, once he whacked it, that has now allowed, since Biden has been in office, another 8.1 million illegals into the U.S. And it has done the significant tax burden on the U.S. citizens, which I just showed you, of $150 billion that U.S. citizens are paying. Now, let's not even talk about the vets. Let's not talk about the people that are on, welfare or on any kind of assistance that are U.S. citizens on here.
Right.
And then they also have part of that is also not going to legal immigrants. So legal immigrants, immigrants that are here legally that need some assistance, that's not included in that 150 billion. That's in the rest of it. So even those that are here legally that have done the paperwork, that have done the right way, they're even getting screwed because of the illegal immigrants that are taken up because that are applying legal to 8.1 million.
Wow. So I wonder what the agenda was with that.
Voters?
If you, but
well, what they assumed to be so.
But if a person is illegal, can they actually vote?
Not today, but they're trying to pass legislation that says you can vote. They're allowing felons to vote, even if you're still in prison.
Right.
Illegals to vote, and you don't need identification to do so. They want to get rid because they say that's racist if you have somebody that has to apply or that has to provide a ID to be able to vote.
So I could go in and vote like 8 different times if I wanted to.
Well, I guess if they're not keeping track of it, that you need an ID to rent a car,
sure,
or rent an apartment, or buy alcohol if you're looking a little young,
right?
But voting, one of the cornerstones of our country, that's a little bit too.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So let me come a little bit of stuff. Biden also in the 70s opposed school integration.
Really?
Yes, he did.
But he's all about
it now because he's in presidential power. So he wants people to vote for him. See, a lot of people don't think about that.
No.
He's also great friends with two of the most racist people that's ever been in Congress, which is Strom Thurmond, who filibustered. He filibustered the 1957 Civil Rights Act by speaking for 24 hours and 18 minutes against the Civil Rights Act.
Wow.
And that was his boy. And he gave a glowing eulogy of how great he was. Him and Hillary Clinton were also huge friends of Robert Byrd, who was the high exalted Cyclops of the KKK. Now, granted, you could probably say, well, that was a little earlier in his life. He's changed. People in politics that have that kind of power don't change like that.
Right.
I'm sorry. But that was their friend. He was such a great man. And so there are places in Congress or in D.C. that are named after this guy.
Wow.
So, okay, we can get rid of the Confederate generals and stuff, but this guy what the exalted Cyclops of the KKK is, he was up here. He also recruited. He was one of the big recruiters for the KKK. Wow. But yeah, we're going to keep him up because he's a fine, upstanding American.
Right.
Whatever. Just a couple more. Of course, Joe was the big guy that was one of the bigs of the 1994 crime bill. And if anybody doesn't know what the 1994 crime bill was, what they did is because they were saying that blacks were creating cities into jungles. Now that was a direct quote from Biden, that he's like, blacks are turning our cities into jungles and blah blah blah, and you can't go down the street without a black person coming and robbing you. So the 94 crime bill was what they implemented more severe sentences for drugs, especially like crack cocaine and stuff. Hello, Marcus Stutzel. Yeah. So then so then they did sentences. So somebody got caught with crack, it was like mandatory 25 years.
Right.
I mean, just straight up the bat. So then they're talking about how that put so many of black fathers in jail and separate them from the
right. And then we want to say that it's because of the broken homes that were created by the political.
Yeah. Wrong. Yeah, Marcus is using a different. Let me just see just one more quick. Now the loan forgiveness thing. Well, he bypassed the Supreme Court for that one.
Wow. Sorry for all of us that paid our tuitions.
Yeah. Like I said, I got $120,000 just sitting in the bank for my kids to go to college with, and you know, whatever. That's where.
Russian uranium.
Yeah, Russian uranium. So he where was that at? I had that right there. Where is it at?
Now I'm on the first page.
Is that where I had that?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So what Biden did is like he wanted to speed from fossil fuels to green energy supposedly, and whack nuclear power. So what he did is he restricted the 1 million acres that included a U.S. source of high-grade uranium, shut it down so that we couldn't do it here, and then made us the largest producer of Russian enriched uranium, and put us in dependence on Russia, and gave Vladimir Putin some significant power. And part of that also, we got to the point where was it that he didn't want to where is it where he didn't want to piss him off? Oh, so he also blocked allies from giving Ukraine a clear path to NATO membership, and he also spoke against that and blocked it because he said he rejected their treaties in fear of provoking Russia. But yet he's strong on Russia, but Trump wasn't.
Right.
Yeah. And then last but not least, I think it was what it is, when they said, okay, well, let's not get involved in the Ukraine war, but we'll give them weapons. He finally resisted for a year and finally agreed in January, and this was a couple years, was it a year and a half ago, whatever it was, and finally agreed in January to provide them with tanks, but then held that up until the first significant weapons didn't arrive until September.
Right.
So, yeah. So I could go on and on and on and on and on about this guy and what his legacy, what he thinks his legacy should be, as opposed to what it really is. I won't even get into the whole rip to the assassin.
R.I.P. to the assassin.
So are you saying are you saying goodbye to the assassin, or are you happy? Or are you sad that the assassin is dead? Not understanding that one.
Yeah, I'm not either. My thing is the whole thing with this, kind of touched on it earlier, is how the media is going to spin this, and this is going to turn out to be a complete shit show. We have more sad, I think.
Hey, personal opinion, bud.
That's right.
But I completely do not agree with you on that one. The guy was a piece of shit. He takes violence to the extreme.
I would like to have had him, like, to hear his side, because
but I agree. But you're also talking about a nutbag.
No, it's a catch-22. You're screwed either way. The biggest thing is my fear with this is that the way that the media can spin this is going to turn into a complete and utter shit show. First it's going to be something about the Democrats, and then it's going to be the left-wingers and the right-wingers, and everybody is going to point the fingers at everybody else. And we may never know the truth. There's always three sides to every story. There's his side, her side, and then the truth. At this point, it's going to be whatever the FBI or whoever looks into this can dig up.
Well, yeah, that's the point. And whether or not they find out that, like they found out with the Parkland shooter.
Right.
that there was like 50 billion warning signs. He had been reported, this and the other, but nobody, the sheriff's department or the sheriff's state trooper or state cops and the FBI who was alerted to him didn't follow up, and they didn't flag him, so he was able to buy whatever. So I don't know if it's the same with this dude or not, but yeah, it's apparently he wasn't that skilled, because this was only about 130 yards.
Right.
Now, I've qualified with a M16 with iron sights at 300 yards. Now, well, Kennedy, I think, was.
Yeah, there's a lot of speculation.
I think Kennedy was. I think that was an inside job. I think
absolutely.
That's what I think. I don't have evidence of that.
Right.
Complete speculation, but
I would agree.
I think I think it was an inside job, because he was getting into too many people's pockets.
And then his brother.
And that's the left and the right.
Yeah, and then his brother had the same fate.
Yeah.
There, he stepped into his shoes.
But if this historian or whatever, if she was trying to put Biden in with JFK as kind of an equal,
no.
Shit.
No, and then I guess on the opposite side of the fence, I looked up Trump's legacy as well. And again, this is from the internet, so I'm just basically quoting on this one. Trump's presidency also shined a light on an aspect of the American presidency and the operations of democratic governance that had frequently been overlooked in public life. The importance of political and social norms and the degree to which the system depended on a mutual respect for them, which I thought was pretty interesting.
Yeah.
And then the other one, this one I got from the Atlantic website, is America under Trump became less free, less equal, more divided, more alone, deeper in debt, swampier, dirtier, meaner, sicker, and deader.
And they're basing that on what?
Hey, it's the internet. You can base whatever you want. The other things, unfortunately, that he's going to be known for is, the whole storming of the Congress, saying that the voting system is rigged and raising questions with that. He divided the country, and also he was against NATO, which I don't know.
He technically wasn't against NATO. What he was saying is, the rest of the countries, you guys got to pay your own share, especially like Germany, who was squawking about we're afraid of Russia, this and the other, but yet they kept buying all their natural gas
from Russia. Yeah, so let's support him, but we hate him and we're scared of him.
Yeah, but we are paying by far
Absolutely.
way more to NATO than everybody else was, and we're like, whoa. Why are we paying all this when you guys are still in bed with them, as far as and you are boosting their economy by buying energy from them?
Well, the other thing too is I think it was, we're America, we're the strong, we can support the world, and that's our goal, is to support the world. But again, it's one of those things, and you're absolutely right. If we're into bed, it's 50-50. It's not 75-25 and then spread out.
I say fuck the world. Let everybody else deal with their own bullshit. We don't just stay out of all that shit. Fuck y'all. Sorry, but I'm tired. I mean, I had I don't know how many years over there with freaking sand up my ass trying to defend people who hated my guts.
Right.
So fuck them.
Yep.
That's what I think we just stayed. Obviously there's got to be some strategic stuff that we do, because we're preventing the spread of terrorism.
Right.
That I get, and that I understand, because I'm involved in that, but I won't say how. But that I understand. But the rest of it, nah, man. Just let people fight their own crap and whatever.
Right.
And I'm not down with that. But it's funny. It's funny that they talk about Trump's legacy is this, that, and the other. And what he did was he disrupted the what do you call it? The establishment of, I don't want to be in NATO anymore. What do I need NATO for? What, is anybody going to come to our, if we get attacked or something, is NATO going to come to our aid? Fuck no. I'm not saying I don't want to be in NATO. What I'm saying is we don't want U.S. taxpayers paying for the lion's share of NATO when the countries in NATO pay this much, and yet they still are involved with the countries that we're supposedly trying to defend them from. As in, we talked about Germany.
Right.
They're buying all their energy from Russia.
All right. And then
but we're supposed to be around to help defend them from Russia.
Right.
Well, then why are we? Not only do we put. So here's my thing. Not only do we put up a shitload of money out of my money that I work for, we also provide troops. No, what I said was, fuck everybody. Let them fight their own shit. The only thing I want to be involved in is to keep Russia or China from getting a foothold, just to prevent the global economy from going down the tubes, or to prevent the spread of terrorism. We can still be in NATO if we want to. We just don't want to pay the money for everybody. See, you're not bringing that up, Rodri. Why are we paying for everybody else? That's what I don't understand. Our bag because we want to survive winter again. No, that's fine. Buy from somebody else. Why are you buying from Russia? See, people aren't understanding what's going on here. We're providing a lot of money, plus we have our equipment, our resources, and our own people have to provide stuff. Hey, my thing is this, there, Marcus. If you're German, if you guys want to buy from Russia, that's all fine and good, but don't come here squawking to the America, the U.S., that we have to provide. I don't know how many billions of dollars we give NATO to protect you from the people you're buying energy from. What am I smoking crack here? I'm kind of thinking that it's a little bit of conflict of interest, if you ask me.
True, and on Marcus's side as well, I would have to say that, you're trying to survive, and unfortunately you have to do what you have to do. If that is the case, and this is the only way that you can go about it, then the truth is, it is what it is. It's funny, we had talked about fossil fuels and EV cars and things like that on our last podcast, and there is still a lot of countries that still use fossil fuels such as coal. And a lot of that coal from overseas is actually coming from Russia prior to. So Marcus, I agree with you on that one. And, I also agree with what you have stated here as well. So good points here. Good points.
Look at you trying to be all diplomatic.
Hey, man.
I like that. That's nice.
Yeah, it's true. I
understand. No, you're right. I get it, and I understand. But when you're expecting us to flip, and I'm not talking about the most by like a percent. I'm talking most like by an exponential amount that we're supposed to pay for everybody over in Europe to protect them. And yet you're providing the people we're protecting you from with part of their economy. I don't know what you want us to do. Keep throwing our stuff out. Your Discord, so come on live. What is the topic? Well, I don't know. We've kind of gone.
We're bouncing all over the place.
We are bouncing all over the place. Yeah.
First, it was Biden. It was the thing that happened against Donald Trump the other day, and we went into Biden minuses. And, it's just we're kind of circling back. I do understand, things are different. The thing of it is that it's different for us over here. Unfortunately, a lot of us are only getting the information that is chosen to be sent to us. As far as being straight reporting from any media at this point, I think is a complete fallacy. The thing is that, unfortunately, same thing with you guys over there, same thing with Russia. I am sure that the only thing that you're going to hear is what your government or what people want you to hear. So we don't get to see everything that's over there. It opened my eyes with that the last podcast that we did with the EVs is, it's amazing that we are advanced. I wouldn't say that we're the most advanced, which we may be. I can't confirm.
Maybe not. But I know Japan's kind of pretty advanced.
Right.
And there's probably some others that are maybe more of a little advanced than we are.
Yeah. And, there are different types of fuels and things like that over there that, we are trying to make obsolete over here. But
yeah,
it's tough, and I don't want to go down that road. But, hey, man, I can understand where you're coming from. So, it's nothing against, us versus the world and things like that.
Yeah, it is.
No.
Fuck the world.
Oh, boy.
No, I'm kidding.
But
no, I mean, we need allies. I mean,
absolutely.
I'm not saying that. My thing is it's almost like you think of the world as like you're like, say, like your wife, and you're providing for them and this, that, and the other. You're going out and working, and then this, and you're providing for them, and then you come home and she's banging the neighbor, and you're like, what the frick just happened?
Right.
So that's kind of where I fall on it. It's like, yeah, we need allies, and everybody needs that, but when it comes down to what people are providing resource-wise, and this, that, and the other, and I understand that Europe is in a much different situation, especially geographically,
right?
That they're closer and this and the other, but at the end of the day, you can't play both sides of the fence,
right?
That's kind of where I kind of have,
right. And I think the point that you're trying to make, and let me know if I'm on the right path, is it's almost like I need you to protect me. So I ask you for $10,000. I build a moat around my house. Mm-hmm. I get the barbed wire. I get, everything I need to protect my house.
Yep.
And then I give you $25 back towards the $10,000 that you lent.
Yeah. Well, not only that, but you're also inviting the person who supposedly has you a restraining order against. You're inviting them in for coffee.
Right.
Still.
Right.
And I'm like, so anyways, yeah. So that's I guess this is not Marcus's cup of tea. So.
Uh-oh.
So yeah, but that's all. That's realistically all I'm saying is just like, look, there has to be a coming of the minds to where we say what is enough, what is legitimate, and what is too much, and how much resources does somebody have to pay,
right,
or pay, or provide people, or provide weapons, whatever, which really comes out to money.
Sure.
Let's just be honest.
Sure.
And then at that point, you got to say what is enough or what's too much.
Yeah. Thank you, Roger.
That's fair enough. More contributing needed, but that's Roger. Right. That's all I'm saying.
Right.
If you're good, if you're good, and I understand that some countries, based on their GDP and stuff, can't. I'm not talking about the same amount.
Right.
I'm talking about percentage-wise.
There you go.
Right? And I understand if somebody can't get that much, but again, provide a legitimate amount of money, but then, like you said, don't invite the bear into the house, right, and then say, hey, come save me when you open the door and let the bear right in. That's
right.
all I'm saying.
Right. It's almost like, how does it go? Are you the friend of my enemy or the enemy of my friend? Is it something like that?
Dynamite, you're already joined. Am I missing something?
I don't know.
You're already here.
You're here.
You're here already.
Welcome. Yeah, I can tell you, I listen to a lot of philosophy podcasts out of the UK, and it's funny that the disliking towards Trump that they have.
Who?
The UK.
Yeah. That's because he really. And again, here's my thing, and I understand that that the U.S. is bigger, so that we have a little bit more whatever. I've never known other countries to get involved so much in somebody else's politics.
Right.
Like UK politics. I give a shit what they got going on. France's politics, whatever. I could give a shit. I don't care what you do. It's your country. I don't provide any income in there. And you do whatever you want. I'm not going to sit there and shit on your leaders because I don't know enough about them to even say that.
Right.
Although I do know the fact that the France, was it Macron or whatever, pissed off the farmers, so they were shooting cow shit on Parliament building or whatever they have over there.
Right. Right.
I mean, for the Discord server. Oh. The U.S. is the main network for most of the thing.
So
we're not actually on Discord. Well, I mean we are, but that's not what that's not where we're operating. Unless you're saying you want to be on Discord so you're alerted to when we go on, I guess. Maybe that's what he's talking about. All right, let me look for the Discord.
Yeah, because I think my biggest point with, the thing that I would like to say, my point is that with this whole thing, as someone that wants to kind of help protect everybody else, I would have to say that you got to get your own house in order before you can help my house, because whatever the hell you're doing, it ain't working. So that kind of is where I have an issue with, is we need to kind of clamp down a little bit and take care of what we have going over here before we have the ability to kind of step in and take care of everybody else.
So let me ask you something, Rodri. So based on that aspect, all right. So let's just say, UK actually does their they have the UK kind of does their own thing where they also are provide money and troops and everything else for some of the other countries. And I guess like my point is, when we get to that, so my thing is like, when is enough, or when is it too much to where you feel that there's too much going out to other countries and not enough to take care of your own people? Because I know we've talked before about French farmers get pissed off with anyone and anything and at every opportunity. So I guess my point is, when is it too much to where you're saying, okay, my people are so, because they're still, I mean, over here in the U.S., I'll put it this way, here in the U.S., there's close to 5,000 children that die of starvation here in the U.S. Okay, even like we're one of the richest countries in the world, but we still have 5,000 children that are dying of malnutrition here in the U.S. And I'm like, that's bullshit. That shouldn't happen. So then that's why I kind of go to this stuff. Like, I understand other countries are in trouble, but again, at the end of the day,
so are we.
How much of the world do we put in front of getting, like you said, getting our own house in order? That's kind of what I'm kind of leaning toward. That is also due to unfair taxation. What is? French farmers?
That's what I was thinking. Yeah, I can tell you, France has got some pretty high taxes over there.
They do. In India, I know India's got their own issues, if you will. So I don't know how to chat this. Let me go to YouTube, and if I go to us on YouTube, I wonder if I can. I bet we can. what do we call it? Hold on, guys. I'm just checking something. Trying to get Dynamite there. So I guess I can subscribe. I guess I got to sign in first. Shit. Yeah, because they won't let you. Okay, hold on. Let's sign in. Let's sign in as Reap the Light. I'll agree with you on that. Absolutely, it is centralized as with the top 10%. You got that right. Because I know India has some like really rich people. They got some of the richest people, and then they have some of the poorest people.
Right. And there's nothing in between. There is no middle incomers there. Right.
But I think for rich people, money doesn't matter. Well, of course, if you're rich, I mean, you don't give a crap. Right, let's see if we get on here live. I don't know. Hopefully this won't F everything up. So there's a chat. Can I go into the chat? Oh, top chat. Not top chat. We want live chat. All right. Well, maybe we need to go a bit further. There we go. All right. So let me see if this works. So here's going to be our link. Oh, look. Gary Hickman. Happens more and more. The 1% takes more of the cake. Happens all over the world. It does. And so, here's the thing. So here's kind of where you get into this little conundrum, right? Because you have where the rich people are the ones that invest money. They take risks to create new businesses and this, that, and the other. Now, granted, we have small businesses that do the same thing. I get that. And but then at the end of the day, like a poor person or even a middle class person doesn't hire people because they don't have the means to do so.
Right.
So so it's kind of one of those things where you have to kind of try to balance that or
sure.
Because I mean, you know what? We might as well just put this in the middle.
Yeah.
And we can make it bigger. There we go. Since we're not, maybe we should do this more often because since we don't have what you call it?
Yeah.
There we go.
There we go.
Picture working. They don't have to pay him. Yeah. And so it goes to that conundrum where somebody offers their services, right? So if I go into a business or, whatever and say, okay, I'll work for $20 an hour, and they agree to that, or if they say, hey, we pay $20 an hour for this job, and I say I agree to it, and then we do it, that's a contract, so that's something that's agreed to.
Right.
Now it gets to the point where they say, well, who does the analysis to say, well, you could really pay him $25 an hour or $30 an hour, and you really wouldn't. It would get into your revenue a little bit, but that person would be paid more.
Right.
But then the business is like, well, I have to survive even through tough times or COVID, whatever. So I need that risk. I need to be able to mitigate that risk. So it's like,
sure. And then I look at this whole Boeing thing.
Excuse me. Oof.
I mean, the CEO of the company basically, his bonus was a phone number, and he had all these things that's going underneath of him that was happening while he was in charge. And you have people that I don't know whether they got a raise or not. I mean, what happened with the defects and things like that is wrong, but why should he get that amount of money? Why can't the workers enjoy some of that too? Because if it wasn't for them,
I agree with that as well. See, the point of the problem is like I don't necessarily agree that when you have a CEO of a company or even a VP or whatever, if I don't necessarily agree that they're the ones making all the decisions that is bringing that company to the success.
Right.
Right? Now, if you're owner of a company and you've put down all the capital and you're taking all the risk, that's one thing.
Right.
But if you have like a CEO and they're supposedly quote unquote managing, which I think is bullshit. I don't think any of them manage worth it nothing. I don't think they're the ones that are making the decisions and really doing the brilliant work that's going on to bring that company success.
Right.
So I would probably agree with that. Like, well, I have a problem with authority anyway. That's probably surprising.
I would have never guessed.
Yeah. But yeah, the fact that these CEOs and what are really making the big difference, I don't agree. I think it's bullshit. But I mean, the stakeholders allow them in there and whatever else. I think it's more of you scratch my back, I scratch yours.
Right.
So at some point, Amazon made so much money and stocks went up so hard, everybody has paid all his employees, could pay all his, and they still would be as rich as he was 6 months prior. Still, they're making minimum wage. Yeah. See, but Dutch, you'll probably, I guarantee you're going to have some. You'd probably have some financial person or whatever who's probably paid by these people to say, well, here's what happened. If you paid all these people this money, then, well, I would probably agree, not so much in paying the money, but once they make that fat money, the incentive should be there because of the money, but then they get lazy if they're making more money.
Good point. And that is one thing, growing up, we all had, shitty part-time jobs, and that was just the way it is. A lot of the ones for us were the easy ones were to get into the fast food. We knew that wasn't going to be our end-all home, but we moved up from that point, and every time we moved up, we learned a lot of the skills that we have now, and our income grew as we grew.
Mm-hmm.
And I agree with you. I think just giving now I think, what is it, California's looking at $20 an hour to flip a burger.
Yeah,
that to me is ridiculous.
And you see places are closing down.
Right. I mean,
or hire or bring it in the
robots.
The robots and stuff.
Yeah. And again, my wife and I went to a Dunkin' Donuts, shocker, when we were coming home from the beach, or actually, no, I'm sorry, it was a McDonald's. And there was one person at the cash register that would take an order, and it was from older people that probably didn't even know how to use a phone. But there were like 7 kiosks. And the only, once you got done entering everything in, you paid there, and you got a ticket, you got a number. And the only thing that live human being would say, okay, 494, you're up. Here's your order. And that was it. And that's what's going to happen when you start paying people this amount of money. Now, are there people that unfortunately this is the only job that they may be able to get?
Could
Maybe.
Be. But see, you'll have the point where people won't, and people's like, well, it takes a lot of money to move. No, it doesn't. Right? If I'm in a city and it's just shit, and I know that I could go to another city and make more money, it doesn't take that. It doesn't take a shitload of money to move. All right? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You might have to downgrade a little bit on your shit, on the stuff, which you don't need. What's it better to move for here and kind of start new and make more money and being able to provide a better living for yourself, or holding on to your shit?
Right.
That's where I get. And I agree, Dutch. The middle class is getting squeezed because the middle class is having to deal with not all the. I mean, I'm not going on the whole 1%. They get all the tax breaks, which they get a lot of, but you got to deal with that bullshit. But still pay more than your fair share, and then the poor people don't pay shit, and then so the middle class is like, damn.
Right.
Not only am I having to pay all the taxes, but I'm having to buy all the products because I'm the consumer class. It's like, well, shit. I mean, at the end of the day, where does it stop about, this, that, and the other? My philosophy is this. If you do a job, do it well, and to at least the people say 2, 3, or three, or let's just say 3 or so tiers above you, that you make yourself so valuable that they need you.
You create a position for yourself. That's the name of the game.
Right. And see, creating a position for yourself and creating a name for yourself are two different things. Because a lot of people always want to be like, I want to be noticed. I want to be acknowledged. That's not how I roll. I'm like, I don't want people to know shit. But if the manager I work for, and I'm making her life, which my manager, Marie, I know I make her life way easier. And she tells me, you're making my life way easier. So as long as I take care of her, then I'm taken care of.
Right.
Because then she'll take care of her boss to make her boss look better because she's providing more. And, and so that might fizzle out as you get up. But, 2 or 3 levels, you're making everybody's life better.
Sure. Because
of your work. Now, I'm in a situation, or I'm in a position, or I'm in a job where I can negotiate my pay. Well, I mean, not now. I mean, but when I accept a position, I can negotiate. And if they're not meeting my needs, I'm like, screw you, I'm out. I'm not taking the job. And I understand that for not all people are in that kind of position. But my point would be this: you need to get yourself in that position, however that is. Whether that's through more education, maybe you need to take a shittier job to kind of work your way up into maybe a different discipline. But at that point, you get to that point where you bust ass, and as long as you're making what you think is reasonable for what you're doing, then you just bust ass,
right,
and make yourself more valuable to the next person.
Absolutely.
Well, you're reading you're typing way too fast, and apparently when you let me just give you a little advice there, Dynamite. When you write too much, people don't usually.
There we go.
People usually don't read at all because it's too much content. So,
you're absolutely right. On this one, whoops, where am I? Right here. This is a good one right here. We can talk about it, but there are limitations on it.
Then we have to feel our hunger. Yeah, I mean, and you're not going to be able to do something that you just. So how do you make yourself write a book? Are you asking me?
Read a book.
Read a book. Oh, write a book. You read a book.
You got to read to write.
Yeah, but you also have to put your foot in your ass, which I should have done decades earlier.
Yeah.
Oh, which we're not really doing on the show, but I'm going to give you a reminder that the next Light Reapers book is actually coming out on the 30th of July.
Yay!
So another couple weeks, and book number 4 will be out.
Congratulations, sir. A lot of hard work.
Thank you. And I'm actually on writing number 5, and I think that might be it for this series. I got some other stuff going on, but
or who knows?
Or no. I'm not gonna say. I'm never gonna say never, because I like the characters and I like writing it. But at least for now, we're gonna do the 5th book because I got to finish out what happened in the 4th book, and then at that point, I think I'm gonna take a break from Priest and the boys and the ladies, and move on to something. Send Harry a hard copy, or send Harry a copy. Yeah, I'll send Harry. Harry hasn't been dealing with me too much lately. I haven't really talked to Harry in a couple months, actually. I don't have money. I read a book online. I also have. Well, I mean, you could read a book online. That's cool.
Absolutely.
A lot of people do that nowadays, or I do Audible. Someone has too much time on his hands. Apparently, I guess.
you gotta make time, man.
I mean, I know him and Selena are doing their show and stuff, but I haven't talked to Harry in probably a couple months. I think ever since we kind of parted ways. You don't like Audible? I love Audible. I have a long commute, so I might have to look at my library and to see how many books I've done through Audible or I've listened to. It's probably a couple hundred.
Really?
Yeah.
I like the feel of a book, man.
I do too. Don't get me wrong, but realistically, I don't have all that time to read a book.
Gotcha.
But within my
Drive time.
hour and 5-minute commute one way, I can get through a lot of books. So I would say for me, my life has been enriched through Audible, because at that point I'm able to hear the book, but basically read or experience a book that I probably wouldn't have, because I don't have time to read.
Gotcha. Yeah, my problem is when I'm driving, I'm cursing out the slow drivers. So
yeah, that's another thing. Audible kind of calms me down. It kind of gets me, because I get involved in the story, and yeah.
I listen to a lot of podcasts on the way.
Mm-hmm.
That's the same thing.
Basically, yeah. But I do like the coffee. I do the feel of an actual book, and I do like the smell.
Right.
I like the smell of a freshly printed book
That
when
pulp.
you get it brand new.
Yes.
So I did get the author's copies of the new book. Well, it's the pre-author. It's like it's the where you kind of look over and review it.
Right.
Yeah, I had to fix some stuff because I had space and a half spacing.
Okay.
So the book came out to like 400 and
Oh, gotcha.
450 some pages, and I'm like, okay, we got to squeeze that down.
Wah, wah, wah.
Reading book time, but you can give time like you can reading it while walking or on the toilet.
On the toilet, I agree with. The only problem is when your legs get numb, it's too late at that point.
If you get too involved in it, and then all of a sudden, next thing you know, it's freaking 20 minutes later, and you can't walk.
Right, exactly. Oh, I'm getting up to the greatest part. Can't feel my feet.
Or when I listen to Audible, sometimes they'll hear my wife, and especially the dog, will hear me come into the driveway, and they're waiting, and they're waiting, and it's like whatever, and then I finally come in, they're like, "Where were you?" Yeah, I was like, "Well, I had to finish the chapter. It was really exciting, so I had to let them talk."
Right.
What's your favorite subject in school? Creative writing. I keep book on the loo, a different one in my bedroom and one downstairs for emergency.
All right, so you're into the reading multiple books at the same time.
Apparently Roger's multitasking, so he can actually, I guess, separate the stories. I don't know if I'd be able to do that. I'd be like, get on the toilet and be reading. It's like, well, that's not where I left it. Oh, that's a different. Hold on,
Right.
But yeah,
I like mathematics. I hate
math.
Which is funny because, believe it or not, I'm actually getting ready to take a Udemy course on physics. And I hate math. Oh, English literature. That was a good one. That was another good one.
I tried to take English literature, but it put me to sleep. Because it's just, they don't. I find the language too flowery. And well, because I'm looking for somebody to get their head cut off or something, but and then it's just like when you're reading some of the English literature, I'm not even talking about Shakespeare, which I know he wasn't whatever. But when I'm even talking about some of the other authors, it's just like, bruh, I'm trying, because we had to study a bunch of people in like Thoreau and some other ones that we had to do in school, and I'm just like, man. Killing me.
I love math.
Oh yeah, Wendy does love math.
Well, Wendy, I'm going to be asking for some help when I get to the quantum physics.
Yeah, they know. You could either talk to her or Noah or Carly. They took Noah just took math, physics, or something.
Oh wow. See, I love the science portion about it, but I just the whole mathematical portion of it, I completely suck at it. But yeah, you have to study it like a language. I like that, and you're absolutely true. I have a rocket science Udemy course.
What's I don't even know what
I love Udemy.
What's Udemy? I don't even know what that is.
So it's different courses on different subjects. A lot of them are, like, for myself, it's how I kind of got into philosophy, is you have an interest in it, but it's not like a college course. So you can, some of the courses, they range anywhere from like $15 up, just depending on how deep you want to delve into it. I've caught a couple of them, when they have a sale. and I'll go in and I'll be like, oh, well, this philosophy course looks kind of cool. Let me go in and check it out. And then you kind of go through it, and then you go up from that point. You can go in different directions and things like that. Where I'm at in philosophy is the fact that now we're getting into the quantum physics and sciences and things like that. And it's like, I find it very interesting. It's not something that I would wish on myself growing up. But
So it's basically a structured course that helps your knowledge of things, but is not necessarily for credit towards a degree.
Yeah, exactly. So,
Do you know if any of them could actually be transferable at all?
That's a good question. Now, there's another thing called Coursera, where those can be. Those you can actually pay for and take. That will go towards college credits.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you, Dutch. Quantum physics scares me. See, I don't like math because math is absolute.
Right.
Right? There is a answer to this problem. Me, I'd rather bullshit my way. So when you talk about, like, say, English or creative writing or something where you have to provide an essay of some type,
right,
I can bullshit my way through it and make it sound great and really make it what I want it to be.
right,
Even though it may not be completely 100% on topic. Okay, so I guess it's just my bullshit nature that I like to bullshit. So that's why I don't like math, because it's structured. It's like, you have to get to this answer. This is the only answer.
right.
So that's kind of my thing. So maybe that's a lack of discipline. That's what I think.
Yeah.
It's a lack of. I have a lot of discipline in some things, and not so much in others. And math is not one of them.
Yeah.
Which is funny, because, it's kind of stupid if you think about it, because I am a program manager of a pretty decent sized contract, so I have to calculate people's burn rates, procurement, calculations on how much this costs and how much this would cost us per unit, and this and that. I have to do all that shit as part of my job, but I hate math. So I was just typing when you said it, you can't bullshit, so you don't like it. Yeah, that's why I don't like math, because I can't bullshit my way out of it. So with that, you'd actually have to study and know that. Yeah, that's why I don't like it. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Don't throw all his secrets on there.
I don't have many, believe me. I'm pretty much an open book. I can tell you I don't like both, And I'll be honest. I mean, high school, I bullshitted my way, barely made it. So the funny thing is, I went to college for a little bit, for a short time, and then you had to take placement course or placement tests to get placed in college. Because I didn't do the SATs, I came a bit later, and so and I did take creative writing. Creative writing, they put me in the honors class.
Oh, wow.
But in math, I was at remedial.
Yeah.
I had to start in a math class in college that I think I took in 10th grade.
Oh, shit.
That's how bad I was.
Oh, shit.
And I'm like, shit.
Yeah. Wow. Wow.
Like, it's bad.
It happens to the best of us.
Math, I don't like it. Because, well, so there's things also that I do that I like. Like, I like history and stuff, right? So I can do history things where there has to be, or where stuff is finite,
right?
Like George Washington, fought in this battle, and it was in this year, and he lost 5,000 troops, So I can do stuff like that, which I enjoy because it comes along with something else.
Sure.
Math don't come along with shit. Math has the numbers, and what the formulas and whatever else it is, and that's it. I'm like, shit, that's kind of boring. Yeah, Wendy, we lost.
Yeah, we lost track of Biden.
We lost Biden a long time ago. I had the same at school, top classes for arts and down with the rest of the math. Science idiots in the bottom classes. Oh, but the arts were the top.
That's
and
right.
then arts.
I feel your pain.
Because arts doing. What do you do with the arts degree?
I feel your pain. So Biden, Miss Wendy, pulling us back on topic.
Yeah, we lost Biden. We
lost Biden.
He fell out of the truck. Isn't Biden the one who lost track of me? Yes.
That is true. That is true. That's also true. Become a tax inspector.
Oh, no, I hate taxes.
I had stupid decimal points.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, Biden also hired 86,000 new tax agents. Or 8,600, sorry. 8,600 that we don't need. You know what we need? Flat tax.
Yep, I agree.
17%, everybody pays the same. There's no loopholes. There's no tax shelters. There's no offshore accounts. 17%, everybody pays the same. Done.
Yep, one sheet of paper. That's all you need.
That's all you need.
Or one form. How about if we say that?
Yeah, one form. With no building. Go in, Roger.
I think this looks right.
Yeah.
Maybe.
That's fine, whatever.
Yeah.
But like that's what I think is if we just go flat tax, we're done. But see, nobody wants to do it because all of Congress and stuff because you tell me how you go into Congress making, what do they make? $150,000, $200,000 a year, like $200,000 a year, and come out being worth like $50 million.
Right. Yeah. No, when you make the basic in baseball, you get, I think it's $150,000, and at the end of the year, you make $150,000.
Yeah. So that's my thing. That's why I'm saying, this tax thing. Well, they all have their little tax things and this and the other. That's why but that's why they'll never pass it.
Right.
Because they're all using the shit.
Right.
Because it's the almighty dollar. But if you do 17%, we wouldn't have any problems.
Nope. Everybody would pay their fair share.
Because you realize we have 38% of the people in this country pay no taxes. Not some, but none.
Yep.
Reading the tax. Well, yeah, reading the tax policy. Man, you come over here in the U.S. and read the tax policy. That
like a sieve.
That sucker's about this thick. Now, if you can find I'm sure you can find a loophole in there, but
everything has a loophole. Absolutely,
it does. Not 17% don't.
That is true.
Either you pay it or you don't. But if you pay it, you don't get the goods and services. So that way they don't have to do anything. Just take it. Boom, boom, boom.
Right.
You don't apply for anything. You don't do taxes at the end and get a refund back. You're 17%. You're said and done.
That's it.
Game over.
38%. Yeah. Yep.
38%. What's 38%? Oh yeah. 38% that don't pay. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's not all. That's not like all poor people.
Right.
That's people who are either working under the table or just ain't paying taxes. They just not filing taxes. Just
right. They forget for years until they get caught.
Yeah.
But
like I said, you can get rid of the IRS.
Yeah.
17%. You can get rid of all of them.
That's right. I agree.
I should run this country. You know what? I'm gonna apply for president. I'm gonna run for president. There we go. Well,
I'm going to abolish math as my first.
That's right. Math is gone. No. The thing is not that you pay tax, but your tax money is not used for development.
That is also true.
That is also true.
The thing that I like about overseas is the fact that, yes, you guys pay a lot more taxes, but you get things out of it.
Yeah.
Over here, we pay taxes, and we don't get anything out of it.
We don't get shit.
Right.
Everybody else gets stuff.
Right.
But we don't.
For us, the taxpayers.
I mean, that's the thing. And, and I understand that our stuff's a little bit different because we got like 350 million people, 360-some million people in this country. If you got a country of like 80 million or something, it might be a lot easier to kind of work all that shit. But when you got 360 some million people, so many diverse backgrounds and this and that, it's hard to kind of just bring
Sure.
everybody. Now, I don't think it's hard. I'd just lock everybody the hell down and say 17%, you don't get this, you don't get that, you don't get this. Done.
Yeah.
You want to be on welfare, you have, if you be on welfare, take assistance, you have to look for a job. Or that's my thing. I know I'm getting way off the topic here. That's my thing is like, let's take some of the money that we're using for actually people on welfare that we give you to the more kids you have, let's actually take it and actually put it into like childcare.
Right.
So we can do childcare and also train the mother or the father or whoever it is, for a job. Because right now, number one, here we go right here, talking about Biden real quick. Now that I brought up childcare, so since Biden has taken office, childcare has risen by twice of the rate of inflation. It is twice what the rate of inflation is since Biden's taken over. So childcare hasn't even gotten to the point where it's too expensive, where people can't even afford to get to provide childcare.
Right, and there are families that now have gone down to a single income simply because it's actually more cost effective for someone to stay home with a child than it is to go in and work, because you're pretty much going to cross out whatever income for that one person because of how much it costs.
Because I know when Trump was in, he had that higher child tax credit where you could write off what a higher percentage of what your child care was.
Right.
But that's gone. So
they're
gone. So there you go. So
there you go.
I would restructure the welfare system. I'd provide more money in, instead of you just getting money for no damn reason. Right. I would say you have to meet certain requirements, but we're going to help you to achieve those requirements by putting more into child care.
Right.
More into, that kind of stuff, because that gives people jobs, plus it gets children taken care of. The mothers or fathers, whoever can get training, then go to work, then you're inputting into the system,
right,
and so forth and so on.
Yeah, very true.
Same here. Some women just stop working because childcare is sucking up. Yeah, childcare has gotten ridiculous.
It's insane. Well, then on the other hand is, who the hell can you trust?
That's another one. Because we're getting some I don't know. But again, but if we put more money into childcare, then I think we could also do better background checks and not just have some scumbag come off the street and all of a sudden is taking care of kids.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We could actually have where we have a better vetting system and stuff like that. That's kind of how I'm with it. What does it say? Yeah, child become a problem for working women. Yeah, I mean, and I'm not saying a woman should go to work, right? If she wants to stay home and take care of her children, which I think is extremely important,
absolutely.
There you go. But I think we could do it better to structure the system where they have the option to do so.
Absolutely.
So,
absolutely.
Now there are plans to make childcare free. Taxes will go up so hard they have to work to be able to get somebody left in a month. See, that's the thing. You're gonna have that scale. Yeah. Okay. We're gonna bring these. We're gonna do this. But see, my thing is this. I think that, especially when, I don't know how it is in other countries, but our country spends a lot of money on bullshit, right? On these pet projects for these senators and their whatever. Where I think if we looked at all that, kind of like the movie Dave.
Yes.
I think we could. I think we could absolutely do something like that, where we look at some of these bullshit programs, and be like, no, we're gonna pull that. We're gonna provide, like I said, child care, health care, training, to where everybody gets brought up, and can participate, and then in workforce, and actually that brings way more revenue into the government.
Absolutely, but they don't look at it that way.
I don't think that women should stay on home and take care of children. It's a waste of time for. I disagree 100%. Because who's going to raise the children? They're dynamite. You're going to have somebody else raise your kids, and then you're going to implement then have them implement their values into the child as opposed to yours. Nah, bro. I think they should stay home, but it's a choice. I think they should stay home and take care of the kids more as well. But again, their option.
Right.
The country don't want to spend on shit, but that is what people. I don't know. I think women should stay home, but that's just me. Because I'd rather my wife raise my kids than somebody else. Because what values are they instilling into my kids?
Right.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Here most women work part-time anyways. And, yeah, you probably have to for childcare. And I guess maybe this should be one of our topics on one of these shows is why is childcare so expensive?
I don't know. We could dive into that
might
to
have
see
to
like
delve
why.
into
Yeah,
that one.
like why is it? Why is it? Well, I mean, we could dive into that, but I mean, there's just everything's more expensive, right?
Right.
Their operating costs are more expensive. Just like electricity, keeping the lights on, all that. Not even including probably what salaries are, so forth and so on. It's just crazy. Or the men could stay at home. You do not want the men to stay at home and raise the kids.
Do you know about OSHO? No, we do not.
No, we don't know. With or without kids, most women don't like working full time on this side of the pond. Yeah, we see on Instagram and stuff. You'll see where there's a lot of women there. It's like, hey, whoever said women had to be independent and everything else, this is bullshit. I want a husband. I want to stay home and raise my kids, and I don't want to be here. Because here's the thing, and this was brought up by Jordan Peterson, if you know him. He's like, okay, so he's talking about the feminists, right? So what you're saying is you don't want the men, or you don't want the women to stay at home, and do what the men are asking to do, or what you need to do to provide for the man and the family.
Right.
But yet you're willing to go out into the workforce and do more likely what a man, sometimes they have women, but you're okay, let's just say people in general, but you're willing to go out in the workforce and do what somebody else is telling you to do, but that's okay. That's right. That's what I'm saying. Us retired folk always stay at home. My family would find me teaching the great nephews to drink and cuss. That's what I'm saying. You do not want men raising the children. I'm just saying, because you won't have anybody raising well-rounded people. You're going to have a lot of daredevils.
Oh, that's right.
Tattoo artists, and that's all you're going to have.
That's right.
No doctors, no nothing. Democracy for people, of the people, by the people. But people are retarded. Okay. But that is still a thing. Then all of a sudden, a lot of women are traditional. All of a sudden, the man should be the provider. Well, I agree with that. A lot of women now are like, hey, I want a traditional man, but women don't want to be traditional. That's why men are going overseas. It's a whole thing now. Men are going overseas to Philippines, a lot of other countries to find quote unquote more traditional type women, because the U.S. doesn't have them. I would say my wife, she's the best, and but my wife does she runs both those lines, right? She's a school teacher, so she works full time, but she still maintains the traditional aspect of the traditional woman or the traditional family.
Right.
It's probably, not saying that teaching is easy. It's one of the freaking hardest jobs out there. It's a pain in the ass, but it does allow you to keep kind of in tune with your kid,
Sure.
especially if if you have elementary school or if you teach where your kids go.
Right.
You got eyes on them. So my wife, did with both our kids. She was in the same school, so
no fooling around.
no bullshit. Yeah, no kidding. They want to be independent, but they want their man to pay. Yeah.
I don't think all women are like that.
Man, go their own way. You could do we could do an episode. We ought to do an episode on that.
Boy, that's a slippery slope.
The women who is independent don't fight for feminism. Well, maybe over here they do. Independent women fight for feminism, and they think it's I'm the boss and this and the other, which is fine. But then don't come to me and ask me to be doing the traditional role.
Hey, Karen.
Yeah, because they don't have the time. Well,
man, went from Biden to women bashing here.
Yeah, they have to work. He's saying they have to work. Well, again, that's based on the economy and this and the other.
Yeah.
So it's when you're scared of literal slippery slopes.
That is true. That is very true.
Yeah, we've jumped down that. We've jumped off that cliff many times.
Yeah. No, it's true. And we did a discussion on another podcast about this. Is that whole single family income, may be a thing of the past, but with the price of everything coming up, it might come back again.
Like Dutch, I don't know where it is or how it is over there where you are, but like the housing market over here is freaking insane. And even though like we could sell our house now and pull out a crap load of equity out of it, the houses that are out there are still so expensive. We could put all that money down and we'd still have an astronomical, because the interest rates are high too.
Right.
It's ridiculous. Yeah, Roger's got to be careful on the slope. But yeah, so we're in that situation where we're making more money, but everything costs, but the rate of what we're making, the cost of everything is way above here. And it's going like we're going this way, and that's going like this.
Right. Yeah, it's not like the 70s where the money was lower, but also everything else was lower. Now, unfortunately, it's did the flip-flop on that.
Yeah. Making them like a metal, which people were. I don't know. I think Dynamite, he's going off on a tangent here.
I like it. This is the most interaction we've had yet. This is awesome.
He's going off on something.
This is awesome.
I feel somebody that's been slighted.
Yeah, exactly.
Before. Same with intermediate incomes. You don't stand a chance as a starter on the housing market.
No,
yeah, it's ridiculous.
Well, but then you look at renting, and for God's sakes, renting is more than what a mortgage would cost.
Yeah.
But then you don't have the credit or the background to be able to do it, so you're screwed either way.
You are. It's. I don't know. Hopefully, well, I'm pretty confident we're going to get a new regime in here come November, and things will go back down to a reasonable
level of some sorts.
I mean, I'll say reasonable as it can be, but not the way it used to be.
Right. So speaking of which, I thought was funny too. Ever since this thing happened the other day with the attempted assassination, have you noticed that, like before, a lot of the reporters were going, Mr. Trump or ex-President Trump, that type of thing, or just Donald Trump. And then here within the past couple of hours, I've noticed a lot more where it's President Trump.
Or former president instead of ex or whatever.
Right. And also, if you notice too, which I thought was kind of funny, is a lot of the interviews that, some of the like the Today Show and things like that, when they're doing these one-on-one interviews with him, it almost sounds like an exit interview. I thought it was kind of interesting. Like, well, when you were in office, what do you did this, that, and the other thing. What do you think is going to happen next? That type of thing. Not like, okay, so this next 4 years, what do you have in?
Oh, you mean when they're interviewing Biden?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, pay attention to that stuff. Now that I've got us back on topic, off topic.
People here cannot get a $1,100 mortgage, but they can get a house for rent by $1,500.
Yep.
See, that's the thing over here.
Yeah.
Ours is a little bit more expensive, but it's the same deal. Because you could buy a house, like for instance, the rent nowadays that you get here for like a 2-bedroom apartment here around where we live is about $3,000. All right. My mortgage isn't close to, well, I won't say close, but it's way lower than $3,000, way lower. So I'm like, It's ridiculous. But you can't go get a house now and that because now the prices are way high and the interest rate is up like what 8-9%.
This reminds me of the Clinton days. You're going to go out and buy a house you're going to pay more for it than what it's worth. Mm-hmm. And then when the bottom drops out, everybody gets.
That's why I'm holding on to my stuff because I'm at I think we're at 4.25.
Oh yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's ridiculous. But yeah, I mean, we want to downsize at some point, but we're not doing it now.
Not yet. Yeah.
Guess we have to forget the difference between luxury and needs. We call it luxury.
Need, yeah, very, very good point. There's a lot of wants and a lot of needs, and I think a lot of it's, including myself, I always go for the wants before I go for the needs.
Well, I go for the needs, but then my wants jump in really quick. Like I'm talking like food,
sure,
and this and the other, and I have all that, and then it's like
I'd like or want this.
I want that. So, but right now we're not getting all the wants because we're got kids in college, but
right.
Who knows what happens after that? After that's done, me and the wife will see.
The crew.
Yeah. But luxury it's a relative term.
Yeah, your luxury might be different than my luxury, but yeah, you go for the best, but the best is not the need. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, guys. I mean, everybody. This has been amazing.
Yeah, this has been a little.
I like this.
When I shuffle off the mortar coil, I think anything I leave the nephew and niece will get up the house deposit help with their 5 kids. Yeah. Oh, when he's done.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I always, there's money for my kids and stuff like that, especially life insurance. So I always, hey, those are important.
That's right.
We got our automatic pepper shakers.
Yeah, my wife introduced the group to these on vacation, which I think were the big hit.
They were. Because the one thing is because we have the ones we had, you had to take a lid off, right? You had to take the lid off first. That was a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
Then go, and then you had to screw it or whatever. I'm not saying like that was digging a ditch, but still. But then the lids would be over here or whatever. You're like, oh, bullshit. This one you just, and it's done. So, technology. But I feel that by buying that, I'm helping somebody else out.
That's true.
Who invented that, see?
That's right.
I'm doing a favor.
That's
all right.
Plus, we're putting money back in the economy.
Correct. All right. So, like if you look up through the chat, you'll see our Discord link. You can hit that, and that'll pop on when we're on. Or you can subscribe. He's asking you which philosopher you like the most. Or you can subscribe to this YouTube channel, and if you subscribe and hit the bell, it'll alert you when we come on as well. So
my favorite philosopher is going to be Seneca.
Is that the beer?
No.
Is that the oranges?
That's the fancy drink. Shit. Fizzy stuff in a bottle.
We already sent it.
It's been sent.
It's been sent. It was sent on here.
You got to look up.
Here. All right. You know what? I probably have it right here. Just hold on. I'll hit it again. There we go. Booyah.
Here we are. It's official.
Let's see. 1, 2, 3. We're on YouTube. We don't do Twitch. Or do we have Twitch? I don't think we're on Twitch. I think I might have whacked that.
I Twitch a lot, but I'm not on Twitch.
Yeah. Hey, how come my shit's not going through?
I don't know. It didn't pop up.
Did it pop up last time?
I don't know. The thing was in the way.
Oh. Hold on one second. Here, let's move this out of the way. Look. It's blocking me. I know. Hold on. Let me try it again. It's not popping up, rat bastards.
What's the definition of insanity?
All right, so you know what? All right, they want to play that game?
Yeah.
I got something for them. You hold on 1 second.
Here we go, boys.
Watch this. Watch this shit. Create new, yeah. Okay. Watch this crap. one way skin a cat. Oh, I'm making it a little smaller. Just hold on. Select font. We're gonna make the 256. Damn. Let's make that like let's see, 28. Let's see what that does. That might be too small. Let's see. Yep, a little bit too small. All right, so let's go with let's go like a 48. See if that does it.
That's funny.
There we go. There it is.
Nietzsche. Very nice.
Look at that. Now, you don't have to go through all those numbers. Or you just take a screenshot. Boom.
There you go.
And then you don't have to write it down.
Amen to that, Rodri. That's funny. Yeah, I'm sure there was math and some physics involved in getting that up there.
That is channel number. Yeah, that's Discord channel. What else do you need, bruh?
Sons of bitches. There's an invite link.
Well, I think I did the invite link, but I think the invite link goes dormant. Hold on one second.
Bum, bum, bum. Here's a little bit more math thrown into the mix.
All right, here we go. Hold on one second. Coming through text. Properties.
There you go.
Paste. Boom. There it is. There's the invite link. You see that?
Should pull a Vanna White. All right.
But I think that only goes for so long, then it whacks or something. But so
Sons of bitches.
hit it. All right.
All right, peeps. This has been a good one. I love the interaction. Thank you all for getting involved in this one. This was
we went off topic, but you know what? I don't really care.
Yeah.
Wherever the shit leads
Is where we need to go.
is where we need to go.
That's right.
And just kind of like a bull ring, we just pull us around
That's
by
right.
the nose, and that's where we go.
Yeah. Thank you all. This has been awesome.
So what's our next topic? I know we talked about a couple.
Yeah, we talked about a couple child care. I don't know. I got some thinking to do here.
Yeah.
I like the direction that this one went in. So yeah, if we need to come up with something that people can chime in and go from there. And it's nice to kind of get people from across the pond there and see their points of view as well. Just follow the stars and see where you
Shut up, Dutch.
Life is an adventure. Oh, that's great. So
I don't.
true.
I know where it leads me. It leads me right down the shitter.
That's right.
Yeah. Well, so we'll come up with some more, and you know what? We probably should put that on Discord.
Okay. Let's do it.
So that way people can have whatever.
Yeah. Comment.
Although, what is the new heavy metal song?
Oh, that's yours.
What's the new one?
Yeah. What's your new one?
Well, we came out with Heaven Rains Down, which came out on shit. I don't even remember when it came out.
He's old.
June 30th, maybe, or so. I can't even remember. Whatever. Yeah, that's it. But we're working on our next one, which is the song for Greed.
Ooh.
And I just received today the demo vocals from Melanie, and it's sounding bad as shit.
Nice.
So, thank you, Dutch. Appreciate that. And so, the weird thing is, I was going to, I'm not doing it because I think it's just a weird thing. But since kind of Harry and I aren't kind of meeting eye to eye right now, I was going to put it on like the Songs and Thongs channel, but I felt weird doing that. So I was like, just leave it alone. I don't want to look like an ass. Communism song. I don't know what that one's about.
You have a communism song?
We're doing one about greed because it's the 7 deadly sins. However, the one on greed that we're doing is taken from the aspect of, it's basically where you're looking at these soldiers in the desert that are fighting this war and everything, while the politicians back back then. Yeah, I got to make it after. Okay, but I got to make it after this album because it doesn't fit with the theme. So I don't remember what else he said about communism.
Either way, he's making one, I promise you.
So yeah. So anyway, so this is about soldiers and stuff over there, politicians. So I have this one. I have this one AI. You'll see this. This one's going to be AI and the band. So the band's going to be playing in the video. So we're going to be playing in the video, but we're going to have
The Thing.
We're going to have stuff going on behind us, like like it's going to be AI, but it's going to be behind us. It's going to be about so you're going to see like these fat cats that had this one AI piece where these fat cats are sitting there counting their money, these politicians, and you see the war going on behind them. It's pretty wild. So get ready for that. So that one
looking forward to that one.
So we did the band one, then we did an AI one. This one's going to be a band and AI one. So I'm turning 17. I got a beard, which is a problem.
Problem to me. Should
No.
I? No.
No.
Grow it out.
Grow it out. Get some beard oil.
Yes. When did you
shave?
Oh my God! I think
I had to shave when I was like
I was 13,
Yeah.
14 when I first
Something like
shaved.
that.
Yeah.
But I shaved it because it wasn't good.
Yeah. It's good. Makes my
Shut up,
stomach-
Dutch. Capitalist bastard.
Yeah.
Actually, I think I got some stuff in AI as well. So
Okay.
But anyway, so just stay tuned for that. And so the new song should be out. Well, I don't know what's going to be out. We're just in the demo process right now, and so we're still recording stuff. So
NFTs, yeah.
the NFTs is shit. Okay, I'm gonna get off. Let me get off this thing. Let's get off here because NFTs don't make. I understand what it is. I think it's stupid. It's like you own it, but you don't own it. It's like you own a part of it, but not the original. It's stupid. Yeah, I think it's stupid, but whatever. It's stupid to own it, but the people who actually own the original, then they make money. So
Right.
there you go.
Yeah. When you lose, you don't lose big.
Right.
Yeah.
I like the Bitcoin where the dude lost his ass.
Because he forgot his passcode, and you only get 3
it's
attempts.
like you own it but online, which is stupid. It's dumb. It's like a book that you can't hold. Right? All right, that's all I got.
That's all I got, guys. It's been amazing, everyone. Thank you so much for joining in. Like, subscribe, comment. If there's a subject that you would like to have us go over, please, by all means, comment it. Again, love to thank everybody out there that put their lives on the line every single day. They leave their families home every single day to look out for everyone else. So thank you all. Thank you all for what you do.
And that's it. So
That's
we'll see
it.
you. So we're actually going to be a little bit of time
Yeah.
because we can't. So we do it. So we wouldn't be next week, but we'd be the week following. Ed's got a baseball game.
That's right, go O's.
Way to go, asshole! Fucking it up. So then we should be the weekend after that.
I'm putting money into the economy, especially with $17 beers.
No shit.
It's a ripoff,
It is a ripoff.
but it's good.
It's what you got to do.
It's what you
It's
got.
part of the deal. All right. So we will see you guys
See you. Thank you
in
so
a
much.
few weeks.
Few weeks.
And talk to you later. And like Ed said, if you got a topic or something you want to bust up, put it in the comments.
Put it in the comments.
All right.
Peace out, peeps.
Adios.
See ya.
Where's my button?
Find a button.
There's the button.
Hit the button.